Welcome to the second season of Under the Rug Podcast. I am Honorable T-Note. I am here with...
It's your boy Cam, man, at CK3 The Thrill on Instagram, man. We back.
You know what I'm saying? We back. We new and improved. We a Memphis podcast. You know what I'm saying? We have to do it big so we can really dig deep under the rug.
Get under the rug, man. Get under them topics that y'all scared to talk about because you scared of getting judged, but what we got to lose.
Exactly. So before we say anything, just make sure you guys follow us at UTR The Podcast on all social media platforms. As I said, I am Honorable T-Note.
I'm CK3 The Thrill, you know what I'm saying? On everything. Everything. You ain't got to switch it up.
Don't play with it.
Subscribe on YouTube too, you know what I'm saying? Share the clips, comment, interact with us. We want to know what you say. We ain't experts. We ain't got our doctorates.
That's right.
Hey, what we talking about today, man? Let's get into first episode of season 2, man. Where are we headed as a black community? Where are we headed as a black community? There's so much going on in the world. Everything's changed, and it's been a lot of years since slavery. Mm-hmm. Now we get into about the 40, 50-year mark since, the civil rights, the height of the civil rights movement with the segregation. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like it's time for us to hit another stride. But honestly, where are we headed? Do you feel like we headed in the right direction? Or we kind of, stuck in the mud right now? What's your thoughts on that?
Me personally, anybody who's watched the show, they pretty much can get how I feel about most things that happen in our community.
Right.
But I'll say like one of the biggest things, and just to answer where are we headed as a community, I feel like we are headed to not even being a community. We are headed to just being a group of individuals, and we're just falling into this American system of materialism because everything is rich or poor. Say for instance, like you think about the culture in which that we consume. So right now you have a bunch of young black men who are upwards like 20 to 30 that are facing, a long time in prison because of their rap lyrics, so to speak.
Free YSL, man. Free Thugger. Free gun.
And the thing about that is, while I will say it sucks, like I was depressed looking at that.
Thug definitely said he was about to drop that slime season.
It was sad looking at him like getting laughed at, asking to use the restroom and seeing the conditions in which he lives in. But like that just goes into our culture. We say, shoot them up, kill them, rob them, this, that, or the other. We promote beef. We promote nonsense. We promote black trauma all of the time. And you can see the effects within the community, but that's who we're championing. Like people are looking at YSL like they're the Black Panther Party. Like they're really looking at them like they really did something positive for the community.
Speaking of Black Panther, so what do you feel like those leaders from the civil rights movement, if Martin Luther King was here today, if other than Malcolm X, all them guys was here today, what do you think they would be saying? And I had a conversation with somebody the other day. I don't even think they would have as much power as they had back then with our community today because we don't listen to figures like that. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think they'll say about our communities today?
So there's two things with that. So they for sure got killed because of the power that they had. And
Facts.
People in America knew the direction they could take black people and take the country, period.
Okay.
But I feel like, let's hypothetically speaking, let's say they was hiding in Cuba.
Okay.
I feel like if they came back to America, they would call Martin Luther King a coon, and they would call Malcolm X a hotep. And nobody really listened to them. There would just be some old dudes talking. Because say, for instance, Martin Luther King never championed, like I know we talk about generational wealth, but he never championed get rich so we can all be great as a community. He championed fighting poverty. Like he championed being respectable.
Right.
He championed, treating each other with respect and treating each other with love, and also treating our enemies with love. They would call that man a coon. If he went to, if he looked at a riot and said, I don't really think that's the vibe, I don't think y'all making a progress,
Cancel
they'd be like, get that man out of there.
He canceled.
If Malcolm X was here and he talked about, like one thing he says, that black community is the only community where our entertainers are the leaders. LeBron, Jay-Z. If he said that today, he would just be a hotep. He'd just be the new Dr.
Facts.
Umar. So the thing is, you ask where we headed as a black community. To me, I don't even think black people are a community anymore. Like I know, if anybody watching the podcast follows me from TikTok, you might see me talking about, black issues and whatnot. But honestly, I stopped talking about civil rights issues.
Because you a coon.
Because it's pointless.
You a coon.
It's pointless. I don't think that there's much to be said to the community. I think the only thing you can do is you can help your sector. You can give people around you jobs, and whoever you talk to, you can tell them the right thing. Because if I was able to do a public service announcement and I said, and excuse my French, we can bleep this out later. If I say y'all niggas wild and y'all need to stop shooting each other and y'all need to stop having kids with men who have no reason to check their email, nobody will really listen to that.
They're going to say stop judging.
And it would be problematic. It would come off judgmental.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. There is no real community because you can say things that you feel like
Thanks.
will help, but who are you talking to?
And I think, you know what I'm saying, there's a couple of points you hit on that I want to touch on. Number one, this idea of wealth, right? And I think about it, we value money so much because we don't really come from money as a community, right? A lot of, you know, I grew up East Memphis, went to private school, so a lot of the friends I had growing up, I'm going to their houses and I'm seeing what their houses look like, and they're so accustomed to that, they don't view this as something that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, dang, you got the whole upstairs to yourself? Right. Man, you got 2 entertainment rooms. Right. This your own bedroom, you know what I'm saying? Then you got a king-size bed with a TV in there. Like, I'm looking at this like, dang, it's possible to live like this, right? But our idea of wealth isn't so that we can set the community up and move the community forward. Our idea of wealth is so that we can get status, you know what I'm saying? So that we can get the material things. It's not too many. Everybody says they want to take care of their family, but that's not really what the truth is. Everybody wants to get the Balenciagas. Everybody want to have the designer belt, the designer jeans, whatever it might be, V-Long, whatever the design is, you know what I'm saying? Because it brings them status, it brings them a sense of importance. But honestly, in my opinion, the wealth is in the knowledge of understanding how to play the game, understanding how this country works, understanding the things that truthfully they don't want you to understand. They always said if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. You know what I'm saying? If you look at all these successful people in the world, a lot of the knowledge that they get has been passed down from rich dad, poor dad, rich. What is it?
Rich dad, poor dad.
Yeah, rich dad, poor dad. You know what I'm saying? The richest man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich. These are principles that are being passed on from years and years and years ago to generation. And so it's not the fact that a lot of these kids are inheriting money. They know what to do with the money. And so they're just continuing to make that money grow and continue to make the money grow so that money isn't an issue. Because people think money is scarce. Money isn't scarce. There's money out there. You know what I'm saying? Money's out there.
Money isn't even real
Exactly.
anymore.
You just got to be able to learn how to use it, but you got to be willing to seek that knowledge. And I don't think we are as a community. We don't want to go after that knowledge.
My thing, honestly, and this is, I probably stand alone in this, but anytime I hear generational wealth, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. Only because, like you said, most of the time people want to get rich. They just want to buy designer jeans and whatnot and go on trips to Jamaica. But on top of that, when people talk about generational wealth, it's sort of just a blanket term for I want to be rich. Like Facts. People like because what's the limit for generational wealth? Like how much money do you need for the next generation to see it? How much money do you need for the generation after that to see it?
Right.
And it goes into what you said about, you know, passing down knowledge. But my thing with generational wealth is you don't need that much money to live a happy life. You don't need that much
Facts.
money for your children to live happy lives. I just truly think that we live in America, and America is all about materialism.
Yeah.
And also, I've said this before on the podcast, when we were supposed to get integration, we got tokenism. And so when we were integrated into, you know, America, we weren't integrated to be us, so to speak. We weren't integrated to have our own communities. We were integrated to play, like you said, play the game, learn your role within society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't buy your seat at our table. Don't create tables for yourselves.
Yeah, and that's that right there that you just said, right? We're trying so hard to get in the game with everybody else. We have all the resources and all the talent. And people say we don't have the resources. We have all the resources and all the talent to create our own tables, to create our own buildings, to do what we want to do. And you see Deion Jackson trying to do it with the HBCUs at Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it takes the sacrifice of not being in the spotlight to a sense, right? Because, of course, Deion Sanders is still in the spotlight. But trust me, Deion Sanders, if he takes the job at Florida State or he go coach at an NFL team as he probably could, his status will be a lot higher. His lifestyle will be a lot better. And the money will probably be better. But what wouldn't be the same is his purpose. And I said this in the first season, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull out the fact book. Fact number 1, you know what I'm saying? You will not find happiness in life if you chase that paper over your purpose. You cannot put the paper over your purpose because money is important. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and act like you don't need money. But like you said, you'll never have enough money, right? But when you're walking in your purpose, you'll find that fulfillment from what you do. And all the other stuff comes with that. And you're not worried about how big the check is. You're not worried about who's watching because you're doing what you love for other people. And I don't think we do that in the black community. It's not enough of that going on.
Yeah, I don't think we do that in the black community. And also, like, with you talking about your purpose, like, most of the time people tell, you know, young black kids, you need to accumulate generational wealth. You need to have wealth that your children can see and all that jazz. But what that leaves is a bunch of kids, adults who all they know is they want to have money. And so you say people, you can't put, you know, paper over your purpose. A lot of people's only purpose is to get paper. Like, cause look at who we look like. Like, say for instance, you can see these symptoms, you know, in sports, of having money, like not really meaning that much. Like, look at Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving is a millionaire, and he be taking mental health days. He be like, you know, I don't even think I want to play here.
Yeah, I'm not playing this week. Matter of fact, I'm taking the whole month off.
You feel me? And it's we tell young black kids, oh, you have to work 3 times as hard to make half of what white people get. And you expect that not to show.
And we ingrain that in their mindset.
So,
man, and it's crazy because a lot of people want to look at the young generation, right? But the older generation leads the younger generation. So I'm going to call them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, parents, teachers, pastors, whatever it might be, whoever's pouring into our generation and below, it's like you have to be intentional with what you say. You have to be intentional in what you allow your kids to take in because that's what they're going to learn. And so my parents instilled a lot of things in me when I was a young age to where now that I'm older, it's some things that don't even, you know what I'm saying, get into my system and affect the way I approach life every day because they set that foundation. But if you don't have a foundation, then you have no opportunity to grow. You don't experience growth without foundation. If you look at a garden, right? You take a garden, for instance. If you plant a seed in a garden that doesn't have any soil, it doesn't have any fertilizer, you got a lot of weeds in there, that seed is not going to grow. And so when you take a seed and you try to plant it in a community, right? And even though you might be in a community, you can't control where you come from, your household has the ability to battle off some of those things that we like to use as crutches. And that's just the facts of the matter. There are real issues out there, but we do like to play that victim role because it allows us to have an excuse for not being able to accomplish the dreams that we want in life. And that's just the facts. And you could put that in the book of facts. But I will say we use the crutches, man. I'm gonna put that in there.
I will say we do use crutches, but like this whole episode is talking about where we headed as a black community. It's hard to address the community and tell them what matters when no one's listening. Because you have to think about it. I remember, like, my dad used to always say, he wanted to be like the loudest voice in my head.
Right.
Because you have to think about who is the loudest voice in kids' head. Right. Is it Young Thug? Is it LeBron? Is it whoever? So if the loudest, Glorilla. You feel me? If the loudest voice in your child's head is Glorilla, what are they learning? Are they learning?
Hop out at the red lights.
Are they learning that their communities have been devalued by $156 billion since the inception of black people?
No.
They're
learning all it takes is one hit to get rich.
You feel me?
And change your life. So instead of going out there to get an education, we're going to grind. We're going to get it out the mud in the studio. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get in there. We're just going to rap till we get that one hit single. And then we're going to rap about things that do not promote a positive influence. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be one to judge, right? So let me get that out here before people be like, oh, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't be knocking. No, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking any rapper. You know what I'm saying? If you talented, you talented.
I'm knocking it. We got enough rappers. We need some plumbers. We need some pilots.
Well, my thing is, if you can rap, right, you have the gift of wordplay. You have the gift of speaking. You have the gift of capturing a listener's attention. Those are powerful gifts, right? What you choose to do with those gifts matter. And so I'm not knocking you for rapping, but like, look at what you're rapping about. Mm-hmm. And think about the young kids that are listening to that growing up. Like, that stuff matters, especially for the kids who have no other influence in their life and they don't have anybody else pouring into their life, right? And so if the only thing they're doing is getting on there listening to Lil Double O, you know what I'm saying, walk down gang, I'm trying to tote the strap, like, that's what they know, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm not going to be mad at the kid. It's like, yo, that's what he grew up around. But somebody, the older generation, has to come in there and be like, hey, take that out your ear. Let's go watch this documentary right here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Let's go watch this movie right here that promotes something. Let's go watch Soul. The Pixar movie Soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you got to make a little kid go read the dictionary or go read the history book.
You got to be active in the kids' life, telling them what they need to hear. And
you got to pour in there.
Like, I think about when you talk about the victim mentality, if you ask anybody who knows a little bit about something, they can tell you that black people are at a disadvantage in America. But the thing is, like you say, with people not passing down knowledge, a lot of young black kids, they can feel the oppression on their life, like especially in the South. Like, you can feel Jim Crow on top of your back, but they don't really know what's happening because no one's really speaking to that. Yeah, like no one's really giving out that knowledge. So it leads people into just being like, oh, that's just the way it is. You feel me?
And
like,
another thing on that real quick, exactly what you just said, right? So it's obvious that black people in America, we were placed at a disadvantage. Nobody's not saying that, right? But that's the facts. One thing I've learned, I've been studying a little bit of Stoicism, as I was telling you about earlier, yesterday. All we have is the present, right? And so the past, when it happens, it's happened. But the worst mistake you can make is not learning from the past. And so, yes, black people oppressed in the past. I mean, it's still some things today that hold us back, right? But you have the choice of using that to motivate you or using that to restrict you. So why not use it to motivate you? A lot of the schools that I went to, even in college when I got to the Naval Academy, it wasn't that many people who looked like me, right? But I wasn't, whenever somebody was trying to get me in trouble, it wasn't like, oh, this school's against me. It's like, okay, I got something for that. Class president. 3.5 GPA. Team, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to just keep rising above it because you don't define me. I define me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you think about me. It doesn't matter how you view me. At the end of the day, I know I have control of my life. And I'm going to take ownership of that. I'm not going to let anybody else take ownership of my life because that's me wasting the time that I have on earth. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to understand that it's like, yeah, we've come from a past. We've come from these situations. But at some point, you got to decide, look, I'm taking ownership. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you try to do. It don't matter what you try to say about me. I'm taking ownership of my life, and I'm going to accomplish what I want to accomplish. But we got to get to that mindset. And I don't think we put that mindset out there enough. And I know earlier you were saying, you know what I'm saying, you be on TikTok, be saying this stuff, and it's like, what's the point of saying it? But as soon as you stop saying it, that's another voice that we've lost. And the music industry is not going to stop. The entertainment industry is not going to stop. Social media is not going to stop promoting all the other stuff. And so we got to do this stuff like this. Even if we post this podcast and everybody like, oh, they anti-black, they coons, they living on unrealistic. Mm-hmm. They grew up in this part of Memphis. Yeah. Why do we take so much pride in the hood? Outside of the family aspect.
The thing about that is, and that's a whole nother discussion to be had. But I feel like a lot of people get pride behind that, and they feel it's sort of like you ever play video games with like your little cousin, yeah, and like you playing 2K with them, and like you raise the game sliders for them, yeah, you feel me? As soon as like they start winning or they start, you know, making any sort of run, you remind them, oh, your game sliders up. Yeah. You know, I turned your 3-point up.
Let me know I'm in control.
Exactly. And so people from, you know, these neighborhoods, that's all they can see. And I've seen like a lot of parents like do that to their kids.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of parents who came from extremely, desolate backgrounds who are jealous of what they created for their kids. Like, and put that on them all the time. Like, oh, y'all spoiled. Y'all this, y'all
back
that.
When I was growing up.
Back in the day, I used to play basketball on concrete with my bare feet. And we were, and the goal was made out of milk crates.
And so it's like, and then, man, that's huge what you just said, because then the kids thinking, I'm not tough if I don't come from that.
And then they have to go grab that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I know. So and this is gonna be controversial to say. If anyone that
get under the rug.
I know so many crazy, dudes our age who came from backgrounds of positivity and 2-parent homes that just wanted to be gangster so bad to be accepted. Like, you running away from home because your parents told you to stop smoking weed at the house. You feel me? And now you out here living homeless.
They don't work hard to give you that lifestyle. They don't work hard to give you that lifestyle.
Just so you can have that struggle. And the thing is, like, I get it. Like, for a time period from, like, when I graduated to, like, when I was 20 years old, I wanted to be looked at as a hood dude. Like, I wanted people to respect me. Like, I felt like that was the only way to get respect. But I had to think about, like, who I was hanging around and who was a loud voice in the head. Because a lot of the, like, people, like, in Memphis, you know what I'm saying? And this probably goes around all over the world, but there's a lot of these dudes who have been smoking weed since they were 13. You feel me?
Yeah, that's
like,
all they used to.
And you're around people who've been smoking weed since they were 13. So what y'all finna do today? You smoke weed.
That's
like
it.
It's 2 p.m.
It's routine.
It's 2 p.m. Everybody high. They send up 2 backwoods by 2 p.m. and ain't nobody ate. You feel me? And it just goes into like what we value, like what like. It just really goes into like who are the loudest voices. Man. And it's just like you said, like if I stop, making TikToks about the struggle, like people would like that's another voice we lost. But like I ain't gonna lie, like that environment is just like
it's toxic because we don't it's a toxic environment because we don't support what we need to support.
I'll say something super simple, like super bare minimum. Like, hey, you feel me? If you've already amassed millions and millions of dollars and you live in LA, don't rap about killing people. You feel me? That's not your lifestyle no more. Yeah. I can get it. Because like the thing is,
let's look at Jay-Z. Look at Jay-Z.
You feel me? He be rapping about credit scores and art paintings and whatnot.
Because he's learned. He's learned the game, you know what I'm saying? And like it's so many people who have come from those backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? They was on the streets in the gang, like drug dealers, did time in prison, did time in jail, got out, realized that wasn't the way, try to change it around, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to use their platform to help other people see that, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, it's like people still feel like they got to come through that. And it's like people still feel like they got to experience that, but you don't. And that's the truth. That is a choice, right? And I understand, like, I don't want people to think that, oh, some people come from environments where they ain't got no choice. I hear you. Like, there are rough environments out there where kids are placed in, and it's really difficult for them, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also been people like Oprah Winfrey.
And this all said that. I remember I was on a panel, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Hit Kid. He getting his, his and whatnot. He really putting on for the city, really putting people in, bad situations, getting them a platform for national attention. But he said something. He was talking about, certain, creative collectives or certain people, and he was like, "Oh, you got to have that bridge to the hood. Yeah. Like, you feel me? You gotta be able to talk to these people in these communities. Yeah. Like, I'm part of Unapologetic. You feel me? Like, the artists that we have, like, will be looked at as weird, and like he was just and in my mind when he said you got to have a bridge to the hood, I wanted to say and get that bleep button ready. I wanted to say, the hood is more than niggas running around in shiesty masks. Man. The hood is kids. The hood is women.
It's community.
The hood is elders. The hood is business people.
The hood used to be so much bigger than all that because it was the sense of community. Mm-hmm. My mom was from Orange Mountain, and all she used to talk about was the community that they had and being able to run around in the neighborhood, being able to go to your neighbor if you needed something. And we've lost that sense of community, you know what I'm saying? And so as we wrapping up, like, I just want to get back to those key points that we've identified that we feel like is holding us back and shifting us in a direction to where we want to go. Because like you said, you feel like we're not going to be a community at all, right?
That's what we're
headed. And I honestly just don't feel like we're headed anywhere, right? Like, yeah, we're making a little bit of progress. Like, yeah, Barack Obama, first African American president. Kamala Harris, first African American, you know what I'm saying, vice president, first woman.
She don't do nothing against this person, but we not.
You know what I'm saying? We getting a whole lot of firsts. You know what I'm saying? We getting a whole lot of firsts. But honestly, I just feel like that's the, you know what I'm saying, the white man's way of being like, see, we gave you this, we gave you that. But
just like Trump was like, we're gonna free the Negroes, get Kodak Black out of jail, even though he bit a woman and raped her. But we're not gonna talk about that.
What difference does it really make, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, representation does matter, but like, I honestly feel like we're just getting a lot of checking the boxes. Yeah. Like, we got to come together as a community. That's the only way it's going to work. Yeah. So what do you feel like we need to do to fix that value problem? That's one of the biggest things, what we place our value in, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, our ignorance of not being willing to support each other and support the right things.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this just as we close out. I'm going to let you go first because I'm ignorant. And I want us to be a little bit more dignified. You feel me? But while we close out, I want you to like just give me like what your salute. Like if you could be like the president of the Negroes tomorrow, and you had to put some things into place to help this community. Like what would be the first things you do just to create some solutions?
Man, as president of the Negro, for one, I'm gonna make sure I got all the healthcare medicine I need because that stress about to be real. I'm gonna give me a therapist because that mental health is about to be real, man. But honestly, man, you know me, I'm a big speaker, right? And like, I truly believe words are power. But honestly, I'm trying to think where I would start. I mean, I would start in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I start in those neighborhoods, and I would try to find the leaders of those neighborhoods. And I'd be like, look, man, I understand I don't come from the same background as you. I want you to understand that from the jump, right? But I want you to know that where you come from, what you've been through, doesn't define where you're capable of going. And it's so much power, it's so much talent in these neighborhoods. And I need you to realize how much power you have and influence you have over these kids. And so while you grew up like this, they don't have to grow up like that. And I need you to understand that, and I need you to teach those lessons so that we can come together as a community. Because I know you don't want to keep living like this. I know you don't. It's the truth. Nobody wants to keep living like that. But you got to go to the root of the problem, right? And I mean, that'd be my biggest thing, man. I try to emphasize on community. I try to just keep pushing out as much positivity, get the leaders within the city, the states, the country to buy into that. You know what I'm saying? Buy into promoting that. And I'm talking about like the black leaders who are in these positions who play the political role and don't speak on some of these issues because they don't want to lose their votes and don't want to lose their seat. But it's going to be like, hey, it's time. We put you here for a reason. Don't get in that position and then forget everything that you said you promised to do for the community. It's on y'all. Y'all got the power. That's where I'll start.
Y'all know what I'm saying? We have two different dynamics, so I'll say this. If I was the president of the Negroes tomorrow, the first action I will put in place that y'all need to learn how to squabble. Y'all need to put the guns down. I feel like we need, because the thing is,
bro, you said squabble?
Squabble. Learn how to fight. Learn how to use your hands. You feel me? Folks be out here, oh, you know what I'm saying, we got a problem, blah, blah, blah. He did this, that, or the other. I'm finna go get my gun. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Put your hands up, get the one-on-one. Boom. Second thing of action. Ladies, stop having kids with men who don't have a reason to check their email. Of course, of course, he's not gonna be able to teach your son nothing. And of course, that future isn't gonna be bright. You feel me? Second, BET, close down shop. Won't need it no more. I'm tired of it.
Hey, they ain't playing the movies though, bro.
Also, y'all need to understand that like this is real. Like they are making money off of. Do you think that those white men who are in all your favorite rappers' pockets, who say they got their own label, but they don't have their own label, they're signing contracts with white men, do you think that they would want these rappers to make songs about not buying certain products or not buying certain cars or helping your community out? No, because then trap music wouldn't be the best thing, and they wouldn't be able to find stupid Negroes to sign a 360 deal and sign away their life to the devil. I'm finna get on the tangent. Go vote. Register to vote.
And voting do matter. And you said this other day.
And not even for the president. Vote for your mayor and criminal court judge.
The local votes matter the most. That's facts. Get out there. Go vote.
Stop signing up for gangs online.
Stop wearing the Pooh Shiesty mask.
How are you a Crip in Cordova? Answer me that.
And pull your pants up. Please pull your pants up. Please pull your pants up. And if you're going to smoke, at least take a shower and put some cologne on before you go in the interview.
You feel me, bro? Like, if
Like,
you go...
they not hating on you. They not judging you.
Smoke,
like, bruh.
smoke at the end of the day. You feel me?
Like,
I'm not
don't come to
anti-marijuana.
work. Don't come to work smelling all... Like, it's a professional environment. You know what I'm saying? Go get a haircut. Clean yourself up. You know, simple stuff, man.
Stop getting business advice from Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti.
And that's not changing the way you... Hey, Yo Gotti, you be doing it, though. I know how you feel about that. I ain't gonna even get started. But look, man. Hey, like I said, new and improved season 2. You see the setup, man. We're gonna keep getting under the rug. We're gonna keep saying what y'all don't want to say. We're gonna say it. I don't care what you
Getting
think
under the rug. That's the whole point.
I don't care what you think of me. Truth be said, if you got an opinion, put it in the comments. We can talk about it. Because the only way that we're gonna be able to make a change is having these conversations. As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like I said, it's your boy Cam at CK3 The Thrill, man. Make sure you give me a follow.
You feel me? Holler at us. You know what I'm saying? Honorable T No, all social media platforms. Make sure you follow the podcast.
Please
on
follow
all
the podcast
social media
and share
platforms.
It. Make sure you share it. Subscribe, comment,
share,
it.
All that.
Please, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You gonna share that new Lil Baby that dropped? You know what I'm saying? You don't even know Lil Baby. All my friends gonna post. Man, when the artist drop, they go take the screenshot, put it on their story. You don't even know him. You know me, and you can't share the podcast. That's crazy.
Lil Baby not gonna let you hit.
But let Steve Harvey, let Steve Harvey post the podcast. Everybody can be like, bro, that's my man. Don't get me started. All right, y'all. Look, man, it's been real. Episode 2 coming soon. Excited, man. Let's get it.
Take a shower, and we out.
You're not slick.